Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the Locker Room Daily Report, or TLDR for short. It happens every weekday. It's usually about an hour long, and I'm here to geek out live with my patrons, and some of them are in the chat room, or none of them are in the chat room right now. That's okay. If you want to become a patron and get all of TLDR, about an hour's worth of geek talk with me every weekday, head over to chrispirillo.com to become a patron right now. Today's topic happens to be three technologies specifically, that I wanted to have when I was a kid, but didn't really exist, or at least I didn't have access to the technology. After that topic, I'm diving into today's Pirillo picks, which might be considered slightly illegal, possibly. But you can't wait for that. And then after that, I'm going to be diving into answering questions asked by my community of patrons. That's usually questions related to technology and geeky stuff in general. And then I'm talking about today's geek news. So there's a lot of TLDR that you may be missing out on, but you can get all of it by heading over to chrispirillo.com. The chat room at live.pirillo.com. Now, technology has been a part of my life ever since I can remember, honestly. But there wasn't a lot of technology when I was substantially younger than I am today. And that is very difficult to explain to kids these days. And I'll be straight with you. If you are under the age of 21, to me, you're a kid. I just feel this way. As a full-blown adult, I can officially say this. I have white hairs in my beard. I'm feeling okay in saying this. Technology just wasn't as prevalent. It was different back then. It wasn't as readily available. And one of the things that I wanted most, before even knowing that it was even possible, was the internet. That was one technology that now we just take for granted. We just assume the internet is there. Like, when we're not online, who are we? It's now a part of our identity. As far as I'm concerned, it should be a part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. An internet connection. It keeps us connected with each other, as well as the rest of the world. I grew up in a time, since this is the day that I'm recording this, a Thursday. It's a throwback Thursday. I just tweeted an animated GIF of Scooter Computer and Mr. Chips. Do you remember Scooter Computer and Mr. Chips? That was high tech, talking about word processing and database management on a PC. Mildly antiquated, suffice to say. But these things were just pie in the sky back then. And I wanted to be connected with others. I wanted to be able to look beyond the world that was in my immediate vicinity. I wanted to connect with other people. And I couldn't do that. And, the way that we went about things was through word of mouth. If a friend didn't know about it, if we didn't discover it, through TV, radio, newspaper, magazine, or when we were out and about, it didn't exist, or it was merely a rumor. We had no ability to connect with other people, and it wasn't until later, when I was in college, that the internet became available, and that changed my life entirely. And I'm kind of jealous about newer generations not knowing what it was like to have existed without the internet. That was one technology I wanted. I really did. I wanted to connect with other people, if only because I wouldn't feel so alone in my fandoms. And so that's what's so nice about being who I am today, and being very proud of who I am, and happy with who I am. And I can connect with other people who are happy to connect with me too. And try to ignore the people who, quite honestly, well, I'm just going to move on with my next point. The second thing I wanted and dreamed about, but couldn't really put a finer point on it. How do I explain this? Games. Video games and software, again, if you didn't find it in the store, if a friend didn't have it, it wasn't really available. It wasn't readily available. So, do I have a question there? What is that? Oh, yeah, Liz, is this an animated GIF of the video that we posted today? Me crushing an iPhone 6S Plus? Is this a GIF or a video? I don't know. Oh, it's the video. Okay. I was playing with basketballs. Okay, that's not what I wanted when I was younger. Sorry, Liz sent a little video of this. If you watched it, the slow motion of me crushing an iPhone 6S Plus, we posted that earlier. I wanted the way, or a way, to basically play all the video games with one cartridge. Now, I didn't really know how to put a finer point on that, apart from saying, wouldn't it be awesome to have one cartridge and, like, all the games on that one cartridge? Effectively, what I wanted was an emulator of sorts. And now I kind of have that. I've got my own arcade machine here in the play shop. I've had it for quite some time. And I enjoy playing the classic video games that I couldn't necessarily play when I was younger because you had to go to the arcade to play those games. And I would be lucky to have $1 to spend at the arcade. So to be able to play all of those games on one machine is something that I always wanted as a kid. And again, it was very difficult. It's difficult to put a finer point on some of these wants when you were younger and the technology didn't exist. We can look at it now and say, oh, Chris, you wanted an emulator, or you wanted a MAME machine or a cabinet, or you wanted the internet. We couldn't describe that which we didn't know of. Like, we could talk about the things that we wanted and the technologies that we would one day hope would exist. And this is what now I have. It's one of the reasons why it's one of my prized possessions, being able to play all those classic video games of yesteryear, and why I'm really a fan of retro stuff, because back then it wasn't retro, it was real life. They didn't exist, or at least they weren't accessible to us. I mean, I don't think emulators existed at that point, but that's really what I was looking for, a one machine to rule them all. And in the video games, bind them. Remember, my kind of video games were on cartridges, and $30 a piece, if not more. The third thing that I wanted, and I had to write this down, and I kind of had in the later years a video recording device. We didn't have easy access. Now just think about this for just a moment. Think about what I'm talking about. Everything that I would have wanted as a kid could have been found in a smartphone of sorts, for the most part. Now, I'm not saying you could get an emulator for iOS. I'm holding onto an iPhone here, but just the availability at your fingertips instantaneously for whatever it is that you were looking for is it's so hard to just ponder what life was like back then, what collecting was like back then. It was hellish. Connecting with community was beyond hellish. Like, if you didn't live in the vicinity of something that you might have appreciated, forget it. You were on your own, man. Literally on your own. And part of part of my childhood that I enjoyed were playing home movies. In fact, I've uploaded a couple, or if not one at least, old home movie. And when I say old, I mean old home movies. Like, there's no sound in these home movies. Let's see here. Which one am I playing here? I transcoded all of them and digitized them, really. This looks like it's me here on Christmas morning. It's possible this is me on Christmas morning here. My brother Adam, and I'm excited. I don't know what I got necessarily, but like a kid at Christmas, right here. And this was being recorded by a video recording device, and we were limited by film, the cost of film, the cost of development. And it was expensive. I mean, you didn't have the extra cash to necessarily throw around. But nowadays, I mean, this technology is commonplace. And I used to love watching home movies when I was younger with the family. We'd have a family movie night, and we'd watch them over and over and over again. And I wanted to record video. I've always been a fan of video, more so than anything, and didn't have a chance to really play with video until later when we got a VHS, a camcorder for recording movies. And even then, you recorded a movie, and we didn't have a video editor, and we didn't have anything like that. Nothing like the fancy tools that are available today. So it's interesting because the things that I do and the things that I enjoy today are very much tied into the things that I always wanted to have when I was younger. Jedi, do you want to come? Do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hello? Are you here for today's Pirillo picks, which is kind of not really slightly illegal? I don't know how they've changed the rules. How you doing, Jedi? She started to toddle on her own today. Now, I kind of wonder what technology you're going to miss, because you have everything. What do you not have? Name one thing you don't have, Jedi. Apart from my things. Oh, no, you'll have those eventually. I knew you were going to go for that. Oh, she's going for the smartphone. That is you on the smartphone. Okay, let's move on to Pirillo picks. What technologies did you want when you were a kid? And if you're still a kid, no, that's a series of blue stickies, not yellow stickies. Yeah, you want some stickies? Okay, here you go. Enjoy. You've got one sticky. Make it count. Oh, you want the rest of the stickies? We didn't have stickies when I was a kid. No, we did not. Okay, time to move on to the picks. Oh, I almost showed you. No, you're going to have to tune into that other video. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for the rest of TLDR. We're going to be doing Geek Speak and Geek Talk and Geek Q&A and Geek News here in just a little bit. And Jedi, I believe, is joining me for today's Pirillo Picks. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from chrispirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and supporting me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through chrispirillo.com.